So I'm currently opening my Superstar 6900. One of the things that I noticed when I started opening, I'll explain the motive why, is that it looks oddly like my Superstar 3900. Like, if you remember the video, the board looks exactly the same. You can even see up here, like from the other side, this is the exact same place that I cut the shunt and soldered my custom wires to hijack that connection, so that I would have a switch between free band and CB modes in the Superstar 3900, which is always interesting. Now, I'm disassembling it for one reason. I ordered a panadapter to connect my SDR and my radio at the same time. Now, the panadapter comes with a 3.5mm jack, a mono jack, which I shall add, that it serves to detect when PTT is pressed or not. Now, I figured a bunch of stuff about how to do that in this specific radio, because like radios like kenwoods and yaesus and like high-end radios have a jack that is exactly to do that, to just press or not press, to just send the signal that it is pressed. Of course, it opens the exact same way as my Superstar, and I'm an idiot. Yeah, this is exactly the same board. This is exactly the same board. Even the structure was the same, and like I knew that there was a hole in the back here. I didn't know where, and when I poked it with a screwdriver, I found a hole. Like, this is the hole that I'll drill to put a jack like these two. Now there are two jacks already on this radio. One of them, unlike my Superstar, one of them is for the carrier wave key, like the Morse key. The other is for the external speaker. I use the external speaker, and I want to eventually do some Morse code experimenting, so I don't really want to get rid of any of these. So I bought a third jack that I will install in this hole. I'll need obviously to widen this hole, and from what I'm seeing inside, it's quite possible to do so without major interference, which is great. Now, I need to measure a couple of things. Now, I know that the way that panadapter works is that when it detects that the radio, when it detects that the PTT, I guess the PTT wire is pulled to ground, the PTT is pressed. But that's on like yaesus and stuff like that. I need to know how this works. Luckily, I know that the PTT wire, the PTT, the ground pin at least, so the PTT pin is number 3 and the ground pin is number 1, which is this one that I have the negative probe on. And apparently it really is. Okay, cool. Now, how does the microphone for this radio works? Is it really pulling down the voltage on? I have a microphone here, but that one takes the battery, so I don't want to fuck up. Let me see here. Pin 1 here, pin 3 here. Let me see. Does it actually do anything? Okay. Does my regular microphone do the same behavior? Okay. All right. Seems like that is a bit of the path to take. Now, I need to make sure. First off, I already know that and this is more to know what to actually pass on the so this is more to know what to pass on. Do I need to pass 2 wires? Can I just pass one? Let me check. Is the ground, so is the common ground, I know that, so pin 1 is this one. Okay, is the whole chassis a ground? Okay, so if I have one here and, okay, so that means like I only need one wire technically. Let me see. So if I put this here, this probe here, it's making contact. If I use number 1, okay, now I'll put the probe on number 3 and I will press on the radio here, on the talk button here. So I only need to pass a wire from pin number 3, solder a wire there, pass it to the back, to what I assume is not the ground of everything but the ground of the mono jack that I ordered. Well, I'm gonna be honest, it sounds too easy. Sounds too easy. I don't know what the catch is, but it sounds too easy. Anyway, what do you need to know that is kind of important for you to know? Well, any of these things that warranty is void. As soon as you take a screw out, warranty is void, alright? If you tear the seal, warranty is void. Okay? But I assume you are grown enough to know what that means. It means that if you fuck up the radio, don't go cry to CRT. And also don't go cry to me, because I'm doing this for the first time. I'm just here to tell the story. I don't know what's gonna happen. I guess we'll have to see. Okay, so meanwhile, I have drilled a hole and installed the jack itself. The jack is here. Now, one thing left is to actually do the wiring. Now, this is a mono jack, and for some reason it came with 3 pins. So, probably you should figure out which one is which. Got here a mono cable. And first off, I'm gonna assume that the outside is actually grounded for obvious reasons. What the? Okay, that's a ground. Hold on, nothing. Okay, and that should mean that this pin here, which is the ground one, it's grounded. Now the other ones, opa. Oh, the tip was pressing against the chassis, okay. The other end of the cable. It's kinda... Okay. They're not connected. Is this a stereo cable? Is this a stereo jack instead of... do I have a stereo cable around here? I do have a stereo cable around here. Actually, let's figure out the pin out. So, I'm gonna assume that the outside is the ground. So, it should be... Yeah, okay, fine. And I'm gonna assume that the inside is actually one of these pins. It's the bottom one. So what is the top one? Is this a stereo jack actually? I have a stereo cable here. Let's test. So the outside here on the cable, as you can see. This is a stereo cable. Okay. The middle is also grounded. Okay, and the tip should be the bottom one. What's that mystery pin then? This is a mono jacket without a doubt. What is that missing pin? Well, hold on. Here's the Oh. Okay, so you know, like when you plug in a speaker in your radio and it turns off the internal speaker. So without anything plugged in, I just realized that's the most simple switch I've ever seen in my entire life, and I'm kind of and now I feel stupid. So when nothing is plugged in, these two are shorted, and now when it's plugged in, these two are disconnected. It's an open circuit. Okay, well, now I need to check this side if I need the ground. Ground is pin 1. And let me figure out which pin is pin 1 again, because I need to... Okay, it's that one, okay. So, does that mean that I can grab here? Let me undo the mono cable just to check out. Because if I can do so, I don't need a grounding, I think. I only need, because the thing itself is already grounded. So do I need a ground? I don't need a ground. So basically, let me check what pin 1 is again. Pin 1 is that one. Yeah, it's top right. Exactly. Okay. So I only need to wire. That means I only need to wire pin 3. And I'm gonna check it. I believe it's that one. I just need to wire pin 3 to... which is a simple enough task. Also, considerations. I drilled the hole. I had to drill a hole to fit the jack. Drill with the radio upside down, so the board, so drill it like this, because otherwise you will get metal shavings on your radio, and that's not ideal at all. That's never good. Let me plug in a mic real quick. So now pin 1, and so pin 1 is this one, and pin 3 is this one. So if I key the mic, let me put, okay, so let me put one probe in a controlled ground, like maybe here. No, maybe here. Is this controlled? Okay. So if I key the mic while I put the probe. Okay. Now, to be sure, I'm going to grab these, hold these like so. So one probe is actually at the ground of the audio jack, and if I push against these and press the button, okay, I have a ground short. So technically I really only need to solder a wire from there to there. Right? It's the one there. It's this one here. Hold on, it's not in picture, it's this one. So I need to solder it here. sorry for the shaking. I'm withdrawing from benzodiazepines again. And the more I think about shaking, the more I shake. So life's not that fair sometimes. Okay, well, I just need a wire now, and we are kind of set for that. That's cool. Well, hopefully I don't break I don't break the radio, but to be fair, this is, well, to me it's expensive. Like, you see, like the amateur radio guys that are like, they'll spend 1,000 euros in a single radio. This radio is 150 euros. It's still expensive for me. For them, probably not. But it does everything. It does 10 meters as well. Like, it does 10 meters, it does 11 meters, and does 12 meters as well. Right now I have it modified to have the center on 11 meters. But conversations between watts, obviously the maximum, it's nothing like an amateur radio that does like 100 watts. This only does like 30 watts, which is still too much on CB. And to control that, because I'm like not an animal, I have on the top lead of the radio, I actually have a SWR and watt meter, so that I always know what kind of power I'm putting out, and to not be an animal that spits out like, you know, 30 watts, although everyone else runs like, you know, foot warmers. I really only run a foot warmer in the free band when I'm doing DX on 27555 USB. That's only when I run a foot warmer. I don't run a foot warmer anywhere else, and obviously when I actually get a contact. I don't run a foot warmer anywhere else. I've done it without a foot warmer on just a 12 watts SSB, but it was a little shaky. Yeah. I guess that's it for the video. So solder that to there. This video part has been done, I guess. This looks a lot like the damn Superstar 3900. The exact same board. It's the exact same board. That's probably why I was able to adapt the 3900 so easily to like open bands and stuff. Just cutting a wire. It shares the same board as this radio. The only difference I actually notice, for if you're actually interested. So this is, if you don't remember, this is the 6900, which is a amateur radio device. And I'm trying to figure out how. Okay, so now, as you see here, these here, these, so let me see. So these jumpers here, I believe it was between 3 and 1 that there was a short on the Superstar, and then I cut that wire, and behind I soldered a bunch of wires that then connected to a switch. That's one thing. The other difference that I see is that I don't remember seeing this board here, like a serial board of some kind. I don't remember seeing this. This is the J551 in the reference board. Everything else seems oddly similar. Like there's the shielded connection, there's the power input which has the same stacked. Like, let me pull it here. Maybe like this. There's a power input that has the same stacked stuff. But even the frame itself, like, I knew that there was a hole there that I could use. It was covered before, but there was a hole there that I could use. I already knew that. And then I remember also seeing this, why the fuck is there like 8 disperser here with a fat transistor right here? And then you have the outer disperser here with three tiny transistors there. Not saying that it's wrong, but well, it's kind of odd. It's kind of odd looking device and setup. But yeah, then the microphone jack looks the same. Like the module looks the same. The connections to the front panel look the same. All right, the connections to the front panel look the same, but the front panel itself looks different. Obviously, the front panel on the Superstar 3900 is different as well. It has a S meter. It has, and this one allows you to fine tune like frequencies. So like it's probably like not too strange to have it like that, but they are connected like this: a big ribbon cable, a wide ribbon cable, discrete wire connection, and 2 power connectors here of some sort. It's weird. It's weird. But the board looks exactly the same. So yeah, well, I guess there's that. So next step, solder from number 3, which is this one down here, to the audio jack that I just put. One can then short the audio jack and see if it triggers the PTT actually. So should be funny. Right, because this is actually a two-way. I could install an external PTT button through here. That's probably gonna be interesting for developing like JS8 or something, like digital mode communication in, yeah, that's probably interesting. All right, well, there we go, I guess. This board is so uncannily looking to the Superstar 3900 that I'm baffled. Anyway, next step of the video. Okay, so I found a piece of wire that could serve me here, so I removed one of the ends and tied it up there. The other end appears to be tinned, which makes it perfect for when I try to solder it there. And I thought I turned on the fucking soldering wire. Never mind. Can I? Okay, so it's hot already. Can I? Ooh. Alright. Let me lower the temperature because this tin is actually a lower temperature. Doesn't really make much difference. Considering we are not soldering a board. All right. Right, good. Now, let me reevaluate. This probably will not be on camera, but as I said, I'm gonna reevaluate. Actually, let me check. So, the ground pin is this one right here. You want to solder to the complete opposite, which is pin number 3. So I'm turning the radio like this, which actually blocks the camera a little bit, but it will allow me to actually solder this better. That ain't good. So first step, and I'm gonna actually try and do this with the camera in view. So you want to actually put a little bit of solder . I shouldn't really. Even actually like this. What if I do it like this? For the sake of the camera, you don't need to be doing this, right? Well, now the camera sees, but I don't see it very well. Either way, you need to put a little bit of solder in the third pin. The objective of this solder is try to melt the already existing solder there. Now, make it in a way that it doesn't short shit. I'm gonna pass the wire. Actually, let's see if I can actually put a little bit of solder in the iron itself. Okay. And put it on the wire. Be careful when you do this, because doing this wrong could make the whole wire warm up. It's not a nice feeling, and in some places even melt the insulation. Right, so I'm gonna try to stick these. Yeah. No, bruh. Fucking hell, it's already hot. Like, even over the insulation, it's hot to the touch. Okay, bro. That's probably just the best idea, is to, there we go, like that. Make a big blob. Now I need to inspect this, because obviously doing shit for the camera is a little bit different than doing shit for my own usage. And I'm experimenting with not. So let me check if that didn't short any cables. If it ruined these mods, if it ruined this PTT module, I can actually go take the one out from the Superstar 3900. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Right. So let me see. Now it's the time of truth. It appears that it's soldered right. Let me check this here. Okay. So it appears that it's soldered right. So where's the little handle that I was playing with a while ago? Oh, okay, turn off the soldering iron. It's probably wise to do so. Because I probably don't need it anymore. Solder no longer needed. Where's the little handheld key thingy that I was... Here it is. Okay. So now I'm gonna check something. Alright. And it's kind of the time of truth, I guess. So, with it screwed in, where's the mono jack though? Man, I always lose everything, bro. Is it under here somewhere? Oh, it's right here next to the camera. Whoops. I don't need that. This is the sticker. It probably can go to the trash because this cable probably works. So what I actually want to do first off is check if both of them are isolated and if the ground is actually the ground. The ground is the ground and both of them are isolated. Good. Now that means I can put one of the probes here and it will still beep. Alright. So now holding the probe, well, if that one didn't fall, holding the probe, you see, the ground is the ground, but this one is isolated. So I'm gonna hold the probe in the isolated wall. Where's the key? And press the button here. It's a little bit delayed. Could be the, is it screwed in? It's screwed in. Well, I mean, does it really matter? It's making a short, so it probably is doing stuff right, I guess. We'll see how this actually goes. The box was like 15 bucks, so if I fry that, probably it's not the end of the world. Alright, so now assembling it, which is the hardest part, assembling the bottom of it. Well, I got this Clonopin bottle that is full of all the screws that I took out, so it's probably not really a problem. The problem here is setting up the speaker, because I'm a very I shake a lot, as you have noticed. Alright, that is connected. Oh, if you fall, you don't go. Now, yeah, so I mentioned in the previous video that I relocated that sticker here when I drilled the hole there. Hopefully I don't have, so I need 5 screws. That's more than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, there we go. And I need my screwdriver. Where's the damn, didn't I have the, I'll probably put it away because of the, yeah, it's here. And now, if you haven't noticed, I have the screws here strategically covering all my call signs, and I'm probably going to, well, disconnect the camera for a bit and assemble everything in the station. So yeah, it's gonna be fast. This is just screws, like screwing this. It's all done. Okay, so it does look that the radio is actually operational. Let me see. If I pull in the mic, okay, so basically there, right? There's no, but this is in upper sideband. Okay, it's actually working. Modulation in AM also modulates, that's good. So now I wonder, if I short this, will these LEDs switch to red, which means transmit? Maybe. Actually, let's try. Don't do this at home. It does. The microphone does not capture anything. It's probably some circuit of the microphone itself. But this as a signal wire is already good. Let me see if they're...
Okay, Roger. Okay, but take it up a phone call. fabricada. Isto é muito estranho.
It's
É
my
muito estranho. Epá, pronto, eu já há uma série. Portanto, vai a caminho de 3 anos que eu não estou em contacto com, digamos, pá, a parte dos computadores, não é?
As you can see, there's the radio here.
Perdi, digamos aqui, uma série de coisas para aqui.
Break.
Só Mike.
Okay, they heard me. He said just one mic, which means mic as in the alphabet means 1 minute. So if you heard me, it works.
Então faça por o Sr. João. Estação de Gafanhoto. Pareceu-me que era o amigo que se fez aqui e pediu aqui um break. Se não foi, olha, paciência. Então quem estiver por aí, faça favor de seguir.
É a estação Cowboy, amigo Dário, está um bocadinho ao lado, está na Quinta do Conde em vez de ser em Azeitão. Estava só aqui a testar que eu fiz aqui umas alterações ao rádio. Não sei como é que está aqui a modulação, está igual ao outro dia ou assim. Eu tenho o eco ligado, mas não sei se ainda estou a aparecer uma telefonia avariada ou como é que aquilo é. Consegue-me dar aí um QRK, amigo Dário? E já agora aí uma boa tarde também ao outro colega que está lá ao fundo para mim. Não percebi que estação é que era, mas também uma boa tarde também. Gosto de desejar uma boa tarde às pessoas. E um grande abraço para aí.
Eu estou aqui em QSO com o amigo Mendes, da estação Belo Horizonte, ao capa. E, portanto, eu faço o favor de cumprimentar o amigo Mendes. Adiante.
Então, aí, muito boa tarde aí, amigo Mendes da estação Belo Horizonte, daqui é a estação Cowboy da Quinta do Conde. O meu nome de operador é Nuno, November Uniforme, November Oscar, tá bom? Um grande abraço para aí. Okay, so you might be wondering why did I even bother with all this modification for this radio? Well, reason is that I got one of these. This is an SDR switcher, like it's a panadapter, an SDR panadapter. What this does is that it allows me to have, use the radio for transmission and the SDR for listening. I'll need to open this up and do a couple of changes because I want to listen from both the radio and the SDR at the same time. But yeah. Now, this allows obviously this allows me to block the exit of the SDR when I transmit because I don't want to risk and burn the SDR. The radio will be putting a lot of power, and I don't want to actually have that risk. And yeah, so basically it allows me to actually do that. This has an internal detection feed which has a 100 millisecond relay time. It's not adjustable. On AM and FM, that is not a problem, and I wouldn't need to even do this modification if I was gonna just use AM FM. But I'm many times on sidebands and on single sidebands, and those actually you'll just hear the relay clicking. Same thing as running a linear amplifier in AM mode when you are modulating in SSB. It will just be a bunch of relays clicking. Same with this machine. That's why I need to provide an input for the PTT, so that it overrides the detection circuit, and it switches when I press the button on the microphone. So yeah, that's mainly the reason. I'm gonna need to open this up, do my changes, and I'll explain that in a bit if you let me just open this up. Okay, so I had opened it. And that's kind of a surprise. So usually there's a jumper here that you need to remove in order to receive on both the SDR and the radio. Apparently mine shipped even without the jumper. That's cool. Well, no modifications needed on mine. This is the relay that clicks, by the way. Yeah, well, shit. Time to assemble it again and install the thing. Okay, so one last note that escaped me. Everything is now set. You cannot use this when your laptop is charging, apparently, because if I put one in the ground and the common ground, there is 50 volts AC. With the laptop unhooked, however, there is 1 volt AC. So I had 2 volts. So yeah, well, be careful.